So let me introduce you perhaps. So Teahna Edralin is a divine feminine light leader, a quantum healer, transformation expert, and the best-selling author of When Saving the World is Killing You. Quite interesting as well, isn't it? Like this depth of that journey, and it's also kind of has its own sides, shadows and the light side. So welcome to our panel, Teahna.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm just recentering. I got really emotional. So thank you for the meditation. And I'll chime into that now just to kind of segue into what I'm going to talk about. It was a beautiful segue in, because when I'm talking about becoming one on purpose and advocating for this thing we call the new earth and these shifting into these new paradigms, and what is that? And some people will disregard that as being too esoteric. But what I connected right here is I kept feeling this really deep sense of acceptance, self-acceptance, not just for me, but how we pull into that higher potential, because we're so busy fixing what's broken and changing the truth of who we are. And really, what you said about welcome to us, your new self, the true you, is also welcome to the new earth, and that is the within. Welcome home. Welcome home to the truth of who you are, to your human heart, to your connection with the divine. That truly is going to be flowing crazy, with all of these new energies coming to the planet. And so, yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about, what these, what this means, to me, in my, what becoming one on purpose means to me in regard to how we're shaping a new paradigm. So you look at things from a very small level. Is anytime you change a shift, a belief, or something in the way you think, you're shifting into a new paradigm of thinking. We typically will use the term new paradigm when we're talking about collective structures and societal structures and societal collective belief system that we're buying into. And as we all know, the world that we know that it can. And there's this concept of creating what we're calling the new earth, or creating heaven on earth. Some people use, the starseeds use going from 3D, the third dimension, to the fifth dimensional levels. And we talk about ascension and expanding our consciousness. And the truth of it is that the planet was meant to be heaven on earth. And we've taken this journey, this human evolutionary journey, to find out and figure out exactly what that is. And it doesn't, the reason why I'm speaking about this is because it's a concept that's highly prophesized, and it's also a concept that is often misunderstood, or we think that can never be attained. The truth of the matter is that in every moment we can have heaven on earth. And so we can have it on a very small level individually, but we can also collectively create the blueprint. I don't think that there's one person that on this planet that is saying that I want to live in war, and I want to live in violence, and I want to live in lack. Our souls are meant as inherent, to desire love, peace, freedom. and joy. All these things that are truly our natural birthright. And, the paradigm shift is about looking at and discovering how far away we've actually gotten from operating in our natural state of being, in our authentic self, and that higher potential and that expanded consciousness versus the separation consciousness that we're currently born into. And maybe as we're elevating now, the new souls that are coming onto the planet are more geared towards oneness and unity consciousness. So I'm going to get into that a little, just talk about when I talk about becoming one on purpose, what I'm really proposing that when we are when we want to go to the root cause of everything, and really the root cause of all of our suffering on this planet is a separation, that we are separate, the I and the me and the mine, and the separation from God and source and our divinity. And that, we are all in separation consciousness. And this whole new paradigm is asking us to move in our human evolution to a new way of thinking and a new way of being on the planet. And so when I talk about becoming one, I feel that really strongly that at the root of all of that is our understanding and our teachings. Someone mentioned about these things that we don't learn in school, and our teachings to the younger generations, that we are all interconnected, unified field of beingness and aliveness and creation and of love. And how in with that, how do we get back to that as the core of who we are? Because also when we're becoming one on the micro level, so it's not just about shifting the belief system, but becoming one within ourselves and healing on a holistic, the mental and the emotional and physical realms of manifestation. And it all starts on the spiritual realm. So I implore that we all have a purpose on this planet to become one in this time. And whether it be, we all have a piece in that, being that we're all one. We all matter. We are all, life is valuable, life is sacred. And when we understand and start to really shift our belief, it's one thing to say, yeah, I know, I believe, but to really live by the premise that we are all one in sisterhood and brotherhood and humankind, and one with our environment. We could talk for days about, why we're so sick, why time high, why we have the pandemic, whether it be bioweaponry or we're just ill and we're not in, our health and well-being because we've gotten so far off track. So we all have a piece in bringing this state of the planet back into a holistic, healthy, holistic framework, whether it be from the mental realm. A lot of visionaries are holding the vision of the new earth, holding the vision of planetary peace, the vision of cleaning up the mess. And how easy, when we really think about it on a collective level, how easy individually we may think, okay, this is a big task and it's a big ask to really change everything the way that I think and I do, even though we're all experiencing that we're pretty much being forced to shift at this point. but holding different pieces and different sectors of the things that we're changing. The whole education system that needs to change, the whole medical system that needs to change, the whole environmental piece needs to change, and our governments needs to change. But we don't have to do all of that on our own. We're each holding a collective piece. And as we, let me just take like the visionaries that are holding that hold vision of a new planetary grid. They're holding a vision of a better world, and somebody else may be holding a completely different piece where their emotional IQ is very in sync with the divine plan, and their heart center is extremely open, and they're able to connect and love and heal people on that level. So one and whole and complete, because healing, actually, the term healing means to become whole, and so does the term becoming one. It means to become whole from all of these fragmented, misguided pieces of belief and traumas that have fragmented our soul into ourselves. But on a unified level, we don't have to handle every piece by ourselves, because each vibrationally. So when I come in maybe with a channeled reading, and people are hearing truth and their consciousness is shifting, and I'm raising their vibration, that's one aspect. And then maybe somebody else comes into the field that is like, has that high emotional IQ and expands with the vibration, my own heart center. You see what I'm saying? So as they're doing their work, it's helping, and it's playing off each other. And this is where the unified and the collective comes together so harmoniously. And as we raise our vibration and expand into these higher frequencies, we're beginning to access that divine intelligence. We're becoming in tune with that universal frequency of love, that, our fabric of creation. And when we can, that's when we can access our higher potential and our genius and our multidimensionality that is truly. And when we are, I think Shine was talking about the manifestation, and Abraham Hicks, who I absolutely love, and being in that vortex, that is the 0 point connection, and that space within where we're completely tapped in. And when we can find that, typically we need to find that within ourselves through healing or meditation practice, and it becomes a constant practice until we get into math. Sit together, our different frequencies can entrain each other. And as we start to consciously, when I talk about becoming one on purpose, that we start to come in intentionally to spaces and into environments, understanding that we are one with it all. It is us and we are it. And that we can bring that space, that 0 point genius in, from a space of love, that we are looking at ourselves when we're looking at each other, that truly at the core of every being is just the need for love, just the need for light. And that when we can move into every experience with that foresight, with that intention, becoming one on purpose, we're doing it on purpose in ourselves, and to become one with each other and become one with God's source energy. We do it on purpose, it magnifies even greater. So that is the message for me today, is to put that out there, is that the more that we start, like Alex, thank you so much for this amazing mission. And this is it. This is like the peace that you hold for us to become one, all be uplifting at the same time, all raising the consciousness at the same time. It matters. And it even matters when we're alone and doing it by ourselves. We matter. Everything that you do matters. Every step that you take matters. There's a lot of futile thinking out there right now because of the way that our, trajectory could go out, that we need to clean up. But the reality is that can be cleaned up like this, because all of the solutions are already there. All of the solutions are already there. And if they're not already there, they're right here. They're right here. They're within us. The blueprint is there. And we could transform this world in a matter of 10 years, 20 years, if we do it together and with love and with unity. So thank you, Alex, so that we can talk about this amongst everybody's journey. That's been such a pleasure to tap into. And I just want to say one thing in wrapping up, that the key to this, one of the keys to this is, yes, we've got these future beautiful visions, maybe some future doomsday visions. But when we can accept exactly where we are and who we are in this moment, on each level, that we can move towards that. Every baby step is a quantum leap. So it doesn't have to be this overwhelming roadmap, thing, an overwhelming thing. It can be attained, and we can do it collectively, and it doesn't have to be hard. So thank you. Thank you for letting me today.
Thank you so much, Teahna. And what a beautiful final point, right? It doesn't have to be hard. I feel that's perfect kind of highlight. And I really loved how multi-dimensional and layered your message was, starting from that individual wholeness to that interplay between the kind of the team and the collective, right? And then moving into the more of a systemic, right? And I feel it also perfectly leads into Antonia's message, which is about the interplay. So just a perfect story that's weaving through our today's journey. Thank you.
Yes, I'm looking forward. There's really is specific ways that we can co-create together. Looking forward to Antonia's message here. Thanks.
Would anyone else like to share anything?
Teahna, beautiful. Beautiful. And the reason I say that is that you brought the individual of the non-judgment and the whole. That I just feel so much, man, like there's one message throughout my whole life I've been thinking about, because I've been different my whole life because of what I see. And I always saw people in their uniqueness, and I go, oh my God, you're so beautiful for who you are. And if we could only just bring that out of the people, make them feel belonging, the world would change. That seeing ability, that appreciating, I see you, I hear you, I feel you. And then they feel like there's a family element to this world. They feel like they belong. The world's actually a home, which is a very far away concept for some people. So when you spoke that, I felt that warmth. I felt the element of that. That really touched my heart, because that's been something I've been anchoring in for a while. So cool. Just awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.